Hey guys, how you doing? Got out back there again today. Just it's such nice weather, and once the snow comes, I won't be able to go out there and scrounge, and there's really not going to be a lot of people dropping off wood in the snow. So I figured I'd go today and see if maybe I get lucky and find some more wood. And honestly, I initially wasn't. I figured I was just trying a little too hard. But eventually, I did find one pile of wood that was sugar maple and ash combined. The front of the pile was like a rotted sugar maple, but it was just covered in poison ivy, like finger-sized poison ivy. You'll know poison ivy wrapping around a tree because it's got hairy roots. If it's Virginia creeper, you're not going to see those hairy roots. But if the vine has a ton of hairy roots, it's poison ivy, and just walk away. At the back of that pile, there was some ash which didn't have poison ivy on it, and I was considering, I almost did take some wood out of there. Like, it might have brushed the poison ivy a little bit, so I was a little bit leery. But then I saw another pile that was like a sugar maple that had just, like a dead sugar maple. I guess people are taking dead trees down these days. So most of it was dead, but there were just a few branches that were alive, and then there were some dead branches. And then there were just a few pieces of oak in there. So I can't really say that this is a stellar load of wood, but again, the idea for me isn't to come home with a chock full load of wood every time. If I can just come with a load of pickup wood every once in a while, eventually I'll have enough wood, and then it's just a matter of maintaining that wood, and I'll always have some fresh wood, some drying wood, and some wood that's ready to burn. But basically, this is just dead maple ready to burn as far as I'm concerned. There's a little bit of live maple in there, but you see this branch here? I mean, that, if I was cutting wood in the summer, I would just leave it. But I'm like, once I cut that, let it dry out, it's going to burn beautifully. So I'm bringing them home. And then this oak, here, let me hold the camera up and just breathe in really, really heavy. Can you smell that oak? Oak has a very, very strong smell when you first cut it. So these oak logs, I guess somebody cut something down, and they left it on the ground. So this is seasoned, but this is pretty wet. It might take some time to dry out. So I cut them a little bit short so they dry out quicker, and also so they're lighter and easier to carry. I did just want to say, this Wetterlings is, I'm not going to say the Wetterlings is my favorite splitting maul all the time, but for splitting large logs and for firewood scrounging, this is the tool for the job. And I made a video about this maul years ago, and I'll put a link in the description. But I mean, this maul, I don't even know if Wetterlings is still in business anymore, honestly. But I know Husqvarna makes a maul very similar to this one. It might be a little bit longer. But this maul probably these days is 130 to 150, or the Husqvarna version I've seen. But it's well worth it, because this maul is just awesome at breaking up bigger logs. If you look here, it's actually wider at the tip, and then it gets narrower, and it's only wide. It's only wide in one part, so you can get deep in the log and really break them apart nicely. So with this maul, I only take like a 3/4 swing, maybe even a half. I don't go taking animal swings anymore. I try to be more precise than animalistic. But when you're looking at all this stuff in the back of the truck, If I kept them this size, I have to very carefully put them on the tailgate, whereas if I split them, I can just lift them and throw them in the truck over the back and distribute the weight better, and I don't have to jump up and down in the truck. So I've always noticed that if you're splitting a log and it's been sitting a while like this one, sometimes they'll get a little bit soft here and they won't split very well. So I would take my Wetterlings, you know, as I was standing, and you can just get the Wetterlings on the edge of the log, pull it up and stand the log up. But once you stand the log up, oh, I can smell, you smell that? Smell that oak? Oh, that's really strong. But once you stand it up, you just look for the minutest crack and you hit it once on the far side, once on the close side, and once in the middle. And usually nothing happens on the first shot. The second shot, it'll crack a little bit, and then the third shot, it'll split. So the stuff you're looking up there was basically 3 shots. And then if you do have like a bigger knot in a log and you can't find even a minute crack, just cut, you know, halfway across the log, parallel to the knot, and that's your best bet. But same idea, 3 shots, one on this side, one on this side, one in the middle. Not killer shots, you're not going to get it all at once. That just doesn't happen with logs, most logs. So just give it a, you know, 1/2 to 3/4, boom, 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 and then it'll split. Somebody gave me the piece of advice to put a piece of plywood under the log so your maul doesn't smack into the ground, or if you're on asphalt, and that's a great tip. And then you can throw them up. So these 4 here were the first one I cut, and then I got smarter and was like, I'd rather lift up a lighter log and save my back. So there we go, guys. I really didn't get a ton of wood today, but every little bit helps. There's the oak, and I mean, this oak it's dry. It should dry out fairly quickly. I really can't put a time frame on it, but if I split this and cover it, I may be able to burn that by the end of this winter. And again, guys, you know, you may not even notice the difference, but there's just a little bit more ready to burn maple over here. Cut it, cover it, leave it in the room with the wood stove for an hour or 2, and it's ready to burn. This is really nice stuff, and this is what I need most right now. So that's it for today, guys. Just a quick one. It's another beautiful day. It's probably 45 maybe, if I had to guess. It's sunny. It's beautiful for late December. I am going to focus on maybe splitting some of the wood I already got so I can start it drying out. So that's what I'll do later this week. And as far as the maul goes, I'll put a link in the description to the video I made reviewing that maul years ago. And also I've seen a Husqvarna one. If I was going to buy that maul, which I'm not sure you can find the Wetterlings, Husqvarna makes one very similar, which I think would be a very nice maul for busting up larger logs. So thanks for watching, guys, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.